Hey everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Free for All. I figured why not go live tonight and just talk about the world of professional wrestling. Why wait till tomorrow? Uh, like probably most of you all here on the Northeast area are sitting in, either digging yourself out of a snowstorm or you're going through the snowstorm right now. So, yeah, let's talk some pro wrestling. What an interesting week. I will bring on. Hey, JP, you look like you're in a, a familiar place. Bedridden Sam is back.
Yeah, I'm still helping my mom out. She hurt her knee, so I'll be heading home tomorrow. But I was here for the last week and a half, helping her out, going and get the folks groceries and stuff. So, but heading back to the apartment tomorrow.
Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I see you bought yourself a set of headphones.
Yeah, I've had them for a while. Yeah, but it's a little bit quieter with if I have them on here in the apartment. So,
There you go. All right, next, let me
yes,
bring on a stiff one himself, Mr. Mike King. I love the little added ambiance of the blinking lights behind you.
Of course.
It looks good.
It's been a long week for me, my friend.
Oh,
I
explain,
uh
please indulge.
I ended up in the emergency room Wednesday night or
Ooh,
Thursday morning with diverticulitis.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's not fun.
my mom had that. She's had to go to the see like the bowel specialist here in Halifax for that stuff.
Yeah, it started probably started a week ago and I didn't even really notice it. And Tuesday it started to get a little bit worse. Wednesday night I ended up with extreme abdominal pains where I was literally in tears, been bent over, and so Thursday morning around 5 o'clock in the morning, I was like, well, time to go to the ER. And yeah, that's what I got. Yay for Stiff Mike.
Well, I believe Bo Douglas has diverticulitis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Bo had.
I'm gonna be let's see, losing a shit ton of weight. I've lost in a matter of 3 days, I've lost 12 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say some prayers for your brother.
I appreciate it. I mean, it just it hit me in a weird way because I never had any kind of problems like that, but all of a sudden now you turn 50 and shit starts going downhill. It sucks. Yeah, no shushing about it, brother.
Leo Connors, how you doing, buddy? He's the Facebook user that just said nice.
Yeah, geez, thanks, Leo. Dude, I literally thought my colon was gonna blow out of my ass. Like it
Wow.
was, yeah, it was bad.
Well, I extended an invitation to one great Gazoo Capelli
Yeah.
and the Jamie Forbes. And so before we get into the hot topics,
Well, I have something I need to get off my chest because the morons that keep posting on um, gorilla position, namely Joey the Clown Rosario. Anytime you want to get in the ring with me, I'll light you up like a Christmas tree and blow you up in 2 minutes, you clown. So keep running your mouth.
I haven't seen anything on that perspective. What came up?
We I forgot what post it was. He goes, "Oh, why don't you go an hour with me? I'll blow your dumb ass up, buddy. You couldn't last 5 minutes in there with me, and two of these people on this board right now can attest to that. I might be big, but I can go with anybody. So anytime you want to play, let's play.
Yep.
I hate marks that like to run their mouths.
The fans they think they know wrestling until they step in the ring with people that know wrestling.
Exactly.
Joey Rosario. One of Forbes' friends, probably.
Well, yeah, because he's a clown just like Forbes is. And I love Forbes. I love breaking his balls, but, you know. So
Bozos.
let's get into the hot topic of wrestling, the releases.
Yes. So Leo Connors puts up, I hate disrespectful fans. So wait, before we get into the whole releases, so the other night on my one-on-one interview, I don't know if you guys got to watch it or tune in.
I saw a bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of it as I was sitting in the ER.
Okay. So there's one thing that I've come away from that interview, which I thought was, in a way, shape, and form, kind of baffled me. When I asked,
it's Bieber, what do you expect?
Yeah, well, when I asked him about why he was, an AEW fan, and we got into the whole, and he was honest. I thought his answer was kind of genuine, because I understand, like, he's always been a kid that liked the Ring of Honor and like that, that style of wrestling.
Right.
But the one thing that baffled me that I took away from the conversation was he said that the style of wrestling is the style that you're not embarrassed to show your friends who come over and let them know that you're like a wrestling fan, whereas you're more embarrassed to let your friends know that you follow the WWE, so to speak. And then he went on to say that the stuff that AEW does is more to insult an adult's intelligence than what would be the WWE product. And
I wouldn't be insulted if I made the WWE and showed my old friends, like, hey, I made it.
I'm just saying in general, like a party, people come over and, you're hanging out with your buddies. Do you want to let them know that you're, like, it has nothing to do about being a performer? I think it's more or less on the fan side that he feels it's more like a comfortable thing between adults to say, this is the wrestling I watch compared to watching WWE.
I just, let me get into this for a second. I just think, like, doing stuff with my buddies when I was younger, just them to see that I became a professional wrestler and just actually performing in a four-sided ring, that would impress them. That's all.
I'm not talking about that. Just pretend you never wrestled in your life, Pelly.
Yeah.
Okay? Take the whole perception of wrestling in your whole life. Take the perception of you have a bunch of young group, and you got to put yourself in the millennial standpoint. Not now at 40. You know what I mean? You have to go with the millennial prospect of things. You're not a wrestling fan. You're not a wrestler. You are a fan. Okay? You like girls, and all your buddies like girls. And your guys are like, think you're cool, okay? And you're having a beer party on a Friday night. He said he would feel more embarrassed to turn on SmackDown than he would to show his friends that he is a wrestling fan in general. He would feel more comfortable putting on an adult style product. And,
like AEW.
Yes. So, that's what I'm saying.
That don't make sense to me.
Because he said to me, he goes, the WWE product insults the intelligence on a higher level to an adult person rather than the AEW product insulting the older person's intelligence.
I think the older person would understand the WWE product more.
Exactly. It just proves my point when I say "shut up, stupid," because that was the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. It really is.
That's what
So again, I love Bieber, but again, shut up, stupid.
I think wrestling to a certain extent insults everybody's intelligence if you truly believe it. Like, come on. It's a work. So I got to soak that part of it in. So
I
I'm
think
gonna,
I think the millennial has to understand, like, if you do it right, a headlock can get more over than a 450
I think it
splash.
just had.
Wow. How you feeling, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, you sound like a freaking
Oh yeah, you don't sound like Mr. Big.
Yeah, you sound horrible,
You
brother.
sound like a lesbian right now.
Yeah, how am I feeling? With my hands right now.
Well, Pelly, he wants to feel you up. Get over there.
As I said, I think the millennials, if they could understand that a headlock can get just as over as a 450 splash, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
The problem is, it's the generation. It's all generational
Yeah.
because now everything's about high spots and jumping off the top rope and doing this and doing that and lucha libre, this, that, the other. They need to go back to what wrestling was, and that is wrestling, wrist locks,
Yeah, but
arm
that's never
drag
gonna
takedown.
happen. That's never gonna happen.
No, it's
just
not.
You know,
It's not.
because you have the likes of Tony Khan, who, and I stated this on a video on TikTok, he is a mark with money. He has no clue about the wrestling business whatsoever. He's booking by the seat of his pants, and it is what it is. And when you have guys like that are fantasy booking, and what he wants to see, that's what you're gonna get.
Absolutely.
They did a great rating on their debut on TBS on Wednesday.
They still didn't beat. They still didn't beat Raw.
No,
or
they
SmackDown.
didn't. They didn't. But what I'm saying is their viewership at least went up into went up.
Yeah,
But the demographic between 18 to 40 was low, though.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. See how long it lasts.
All right. So the first thing I want to get into, and I'm hoping that Capelli can join us in on this, was when I posted the Big Swole release.
Yeah.
And I don't want us all here to get our panties in an uproar. But everybody read into it as if I posted that thing as I wanted people to think about the racial aspect of it. And and I'm going to tell you this. If you read what I wrote as the caption, I wrote, "The grass isn't always greener on the other side." Okay.
Yep.
And what I meant by that is if everybody had read through it, was her perspective on how things are ran backstage, that there's no legit direction, that if you're like, say you're a great wrestler, but you have problems cutting promos, or just you need help telling a story, you fall to the backwind. Whereas in AEW, if you're strong-minded on where you have a direction as a wrestler, you're going to make it, because everything is depending upon yourself. And to me, I take that as you're letting the inmates run the asylum. Okay?
Exactly.
Which is a horrible, horrible, horrible blend. And she put that you could be as talented as anything, and she wasn't talking about herself, that if you don't got this, you will sink there. So it's the same perspective of working with the WWE. It's just in a different form. And that's what I meant. And I don't want anybody to listen. This group is made of a lot of white people. And as soon as I put that up, people jumped all over the race card. Like,
Yep.
I'm going to say this first and foremost, and like, it don't bother me. My whole life, maybe because where I grew up, none of this stuff has ever bothered me. I had
Because-
black friends, I had Puerto Rican friends, I had Chinese friends, and we all were the same fucking thing. We lived as humans. So I take myself away from the whole aspect of looking at situations. I don't. Yeah, that's just not me.
Everybody bleeds red blood.
Yeah.
So here's my thing on here's my take on that. You know, you and I are the same way, Jay. You know what I mean? None of that shit bothered me. No, it never did, right? But it's this culture, this generation it's made up of a bunch of snowflakes. This cancel culture is just unbelievable. Like if you look back at the past 2 years of this pandemic and the presidential race and all the crap that was going on with that and the riots and people getting shot and looting Walmarts and Targets and all this other crap. We never had to deal with that growing up ever because we, like you said, we all lived as humans. I never saw color or race. That was just never who I was.
No.
Especially where I grew up. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
I grew up in Springfield, Mass. It was never like that for me, but I don't know. It's just Tony Khan responding to what she had to say.
Oh, I got to put that one up about the racist thing.
What a big mistake he made, because it just proves how much of a freaking moron he really is.
Why? What did he say? I didn't even see it.
He called her out at he
said he let her contract go because she did not know how to wrestle.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Okay,
so this is coming from a guy who knows nothing about the wrestling business, but says that I think she's a great worker, to be honest with you. I think she can go with anybody.
So if she doesn't know how to wrestle, why did you sign her to begin with?
Exact. Oh my God, I almost choked. Exactly.
I mean, come on now.
I think a lot of the people he signed firsthand was just the fact that it's people who wanted a job, and he wanted to have a roster.
I'm not playing the race card here, like nothing with the race card right here, but could she have been a little bit bitter because she wasn't getting a push?
Yeah, but that's anybody though. I mean, especially at that level, that super indie level, of course they're going to be upset that they're not getting pushed. I mean, he's over flooded his roster to the point where he's got people sitting and catering doing nothing because they have no time and no room for them. Brian Cage.
Hey, Duke, the same thing's happening in WWE because somebody just walked out. The same fact.
And here he is, the great one himself, the tribal beast.
Tribal beast.
As I said,
beast, undisputed Gazoo.
There you go.
Couple of months.
And, Mike, as I said, the same thing's happening in WWE. Somebody just walked out.
Tony Storm. Tony Storm quit because she was burnt out, I guess. I don't think it had anything to do with Charlotte Flair, but you never know with that case.
Yeah, who knows? I heard that she did make a comment, though. Supposed comment was...
Yeah, I'm not buying that comment that was posted.
Yeah, you saw it too, right? Something about she has to job to somebody who doesn't give a shit and makes you want to bow down to some shit like that. It wasn't reputable, but who knows?
I don't buy that at all.
WWE on its
that gray beard's looking good there, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
working on it.
I got a little gray hair too. Rumble's got some gray.
Working on it.
So, Capelli, I was talking about first. The first post I made was about the Big Swole thing, and I talked about how a lot of people on here were first to just, when you guys read it, you went right to the racial part of it, and
Listen,
I
first
didn't.
of all, not all of us. So
I all right. So Capelli, I had to text him privately because he really thought that I put that up about the race thing. If you
It's
had
the way
read,
it came across.
I
Jay.
know, but if you had
It's the way
read
I
my
read it.
caption, it said the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. And I don't think many people have left the WWE lately because of the fact of racial things. I think more of the people that have left the WWE have wanted their own creative control. And that was the part of the story that I was talking about, where she had basically talked that you could, the stronger you were on everything, the more likely you were not to sink there. And that if you were weaker, you didn't get any help. Whereas in the WWE, you're always getting help because there's people backstage, and she just opened some eyes up, and I thought it was very interesting because the AEW fan just thinks that when you go to AEW, automatically that unhappy wrestler becomes the happiest thing on earth.
Well,
And
look,
I don't want that. I believe that should be not the perceived notion that it's just not. And I'm glad she
Well-
put that out there.
well, there's that's only true to a point. A guy like Randy Orton is not going to go to AEW and be happy because he is more of a performer now than he is a pro wrestler. A guy like Daniel Bryan was not happy in the WWE because he wanted to be a wrestler that entertains. And again, it goes back to that comment I've said in the past that one company is a wrestling company performing and supplying entertainment. The other company is an entertainment company using wrestling as its entertainment. There's a big, even though it sounds very similar,
No, I
it's
agree with
two
that.
different
agree.
mentalities. It is pro wrestling. It's honestly, it's like NWA from the 1980s versus WWF from the 1980s.
Yeah.
It's wrestlers versus gimmicks.
Yeah.
And the WWE is gimmicks. And I'm sorry, but Big Swole, she may have started that, but she did absolutely hit the racial button, especially when she brought up how her child was watching WWE television until daddy wasn't on TV much anymore because, there weren't, and she did say this one of her people. When you make a comment of her people or my people,
well, she absolutely made it about race. That whole comment in that post was about race.
I was, but
didn't
that
make
wasn't
it about race.
I didn't make it about race because
No,
I
you
don't.
did.
I'll be honest with you. Anybody who bitches and moans like that to me is looking for attention.
And
It's
that's what I think she tried. I think and I said it to you, and I said it. I personally feel that Big Swole, just like her husband, is an average entertainer, an average person in the business. They're not going to make it. They're not going to be The Rock. They're not going to be Bobby Lashley. They're
nope.
not, and even Bobby Lashley he's got almost all of it, but he doesn't have it. And everybody in this panel knows, in our business, if you want to be the upper echelon, if you want to have TV time, if you want to make the bucks, and you want to be pushed, and you want to have the most of the most, you have to be the whole package. And I'm sorry, her and her husband, neither one of them are the package.
No,
They're not.
They're like Jimmy's and the sprinkled nuts on a hot fudge sundae.
Thank you. But it's a true statement. But the problem is we live in a day and an era where everybody who is, and I'm this is not a racist statement, but I'm going to say it. If you're not white, you can use ammunition and say, well, I'm of this race, or I'm of this race. I'm not white, and because I'm not white, am I getting all the opportunities versus the white people? And that's it's just what we've come to, and it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, Tony Khan did in a way shut her up. He pointed out that the two top people in corporate, three of them, I'm sorry, they include his father, none of them are white.
Yes.
You're talking three brown, as he called them, brown people. So him and his father are both Middle Eastern.
Yes.
I mean, you got people who are running the corporation. They're the first company to have a friggin' transgender gimmick. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the WWE hasn't broken that barrier yet. They had what's his face doing the gay, came out when he was gay, but look what happened. He didn't last much longer. He lasted.
They got rid of him.
And
they got rid of him.
No, I would hope to say it was because he wasn't as talented as they wanted, or he wasn't marketable.
Fred Sampson is a very talented wrestler.
Yeah. Hear me out before you. I agree. My point is for them.
Oh, yes.
You don't see them kind of pushing that envelope, and when they push that envelope, they only push it a little bit. AEW said, "Fuck it, let's bust open the door. We got to look at the gimmick we got right here."
It's because they're tending to that audience that's 25 and under, that's used to having that. I mean, listen, man, they're used to that. There's more kids nowadays that
I know.
You and I both have young children. Mike has a young child, and I believe Mickey Biggs has a young child.
Yeah, a 1-year-old.
They are faced with more of this stuff than we'll ever see.
And Pelly's has a bed.
He's brought back the bedridden gimmick.
Yeah, let me speak on this for a second. Like, WWE's entertainment, and they create the package. Like, we're talking about packages here. Like, Brock Lesnar, he was great as a heavyweight, and you put the title on him. But they created the package with him and Paul Heyman. I believe that could be considered the total package.
Yep.
No, I still see a Swerve coming with that gimmick, but that's just
they just did something on SmackDown. You can see it started. They opened Brock and Roman opened SmackDown with Heyman, and they started a little gimmick. Listen, everyone knows. But the day after WrestleMania is over, Roman Reigns will be the undisputed heavyweight champion, and Paulie will be back in his corner as a gimmick, as a Swerve.
I'm not talking about today. I mean, like in the past. Like, I think like Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar may have been like the best one-man manager package maybe in the history of professional wrestling.
Well, I hate to say it, but Roman Reigns right now is the total package. Not Lex Luger either. He talks, he sells, he can wrestle, he tells a story.
Took him a long time to get there, though.
Yes, it did.
I know it took him a long time to get there. Let's just face the facts. The fans have always loved to hate him ever since he basically the first year of wrestling, wasn't it that he won the Royal Rumble and
no, it wasn't his first year.
Or it was his first couple of years in the business that
it was his first year as a singles wrestler.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. They loved him when he was in the Shield. It's when he went singles, and then they were cramming him down our fucking throat.
Yep.
Yeah, it was in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia crowd is the one that started that. And don't forget too, he beat what's his face, and then came on television and said it's my yard now. The Undertaker, which helped. So
exactly. So let's get on to the. Let's talk about it. Bring it up, buddy. What do you think about all the releases?
The absolute destruction of everything that Triple H has done in the WWE, especially with NXT. Sure, let's talk about it. That's what I was hoping we would talk about. It's ridiculous.
I'll start it off. I do with my writing. sometimes I write like the beginning and the end are the same. They're bringing an end to the black and gold, and they really just want to run with this new 2.0 thing. So they're just getting rid of the past so they can write the future. And with getting rid of William Regal, the old producers, even old guys we haven't heard of that actually are the backbone of black and gold. They're just running with this 2.0 thing. And putting the belt on this Steiner kid the other night, it just solidifies that they're just looking towards the future. And they want to get rid of these old guys that were Triple H's guys, the black and gold, and you probably won't even hardly ever see like Triple H back with his buddy in Gorilla ever again. It'd probably just be Shawn Michaels back there. So that's my 2 cents.
You don't think any part of that is personal?
I don't know. I mean, he is married to Stephanie. I highly doubt it's personal. I mean, it could be, but you know, I'm trying not to think like the idiots on Facebook saying, "Oh, he's taking shots at Triple H."
But listen, we all know Vince, and this is the same guy who took shots at his own son when his son quit. When his son quit the WWE,
right?
And there were issues there. You're gonna tell me that none of this is personal. That Vince isn't the type of guy. That,
oh my God, you Capelli.
What?
I believe it's hugely out of jealousy.
Thank you.
Hugely.
That's exactly what I'm going at.
And there's nothing, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's all gotten highlighted over the simple fact that since Triple H has been gone, that Vince has been able to do this.
Yes.
Could it be because the wrestling product in NXT is...
No, it has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the fact that the popularity with Triple H is built. And I know that people are going to say, like, if James Forbes was here, he would be like, stars? What do you mean stars?
Look at everybody he built.
Look at all the people he has built and what he has done. And Vince McMahon is definitely so egotistical and so full of himself to say, I did this all, and you couldn't have done it without my money. I'm going to fire everybody, and at my age, I'm going to do the same thing that Triple H did, even better. And it's not going to happen.
Well, push come to shove, the 2 matches that I saw in NXT 2.0, I saw the Carmelo Hayes Roderick Strong match, and I saw the 6-man tag, and they were excellent matches, brother.
Yes, and Carmelo Hayes and Roderick Strong are all signees at Triple H.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to point this out, and this is the discussion point for us. So NXT was handed to Triple H, early, 2012, 2013, right around there?
Yeah.
Right? Look at everything that NXT did up until 2020. It ultimately, he grew NXT from what was supposed to be the development group to its own brand that ultimately he took what was supposed to be a 300 plus person crowd and turned it into 10,000 people selling out a fucking pay-per-view, their own pay-per-view.
15,700 plus at the Barclays Center.
So you're talking, and consistently as NXT gained more ground, what lost ground? The flagship of Vince's baby. Vince has always said Raw was his show. He even destroyed his own other product, SmackDown, and kind of made it definitely the B product for Raw, because Raw was his show. And it got to the point where you had wrestlers wanting to go back to NXT, like a Finn Balor. You had wrestlers like Kevin Owens asking him to go back to NXT. What does that tell you? And it tells you that it says it all right there. To me, and I think it's a great talking point, I'll believe it because you can tell by how Vince is. He's competitive to the end, son-in-law or not. He doesn't give a fuck. And if you, I've always said, where there's smoke, there's fire. There is enough smoke right now with coming out of their locker room and out of their corporation and people that are close to it saying, if you don't think it's personal, you're 100% crazy. It is absolutely personal with Vince.
Yep.
Well, if Vince didn't have the ego he did, and if he wasn't crazy the way people say he is, WWE and WWF wouldn't be $1 billion company and traded on the stock market today.
I don't think you're getting the pitch. I don't think you're seeing the whole picture here. It has nothing to do with trending or stock market. It has to do with the simple fact that a guy in 5 years took what was a fucking streaming watched program, okay, and made it more popular than a show that is on Monday nights and was the staple of pro wrestling for over 20 years.
The longest,
and it wasn't created by Vince. That's what we're getting at. It has nothing to do with it's traded. It has nothing to do that there's figures in Walmart. It had nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that Triple H took something that was a developmental product and basically made that product into not only a viable product, but a compatible product that people probably would have rather watched and sold just as many tickets as the flagship program. And at one point in time was being talked about in a higher regard.
Rumble, do you think Vince saying, hey, we're going to take your product that's a flagship show that's doing great right now, we're going to change the whole thing, is that the reason he became ill and sick?
No. Look at who it is. It's the guy's a workout freak. He has done steroids. He may have an eye condition, but it could be anything. But he is what, 50?
Yep.
Right. So he's over 50 now.
He's 54 or something like that.
Yeah. You're talking about. He was a steroid user. He's a workout freak and everything. It can affect your heart. To me, that's why I personally feel that's probably why he had a heart complication. It had nothing to do with that. But I do think that Vince has said, "Oh, you're gone. It's my show, my money, my company. Fuck you. I'm going to do what I want." And no offense, but how could it not be personal when Braun Breaker, they take the Golden X and Braun fucking Breaker, the guy that is Vince's ideal type of wrestler, as he said. He's big, he's strong. He's not a 5'9", 200-pound kid, which is what Vince said. That isn't what he wants anymore. And goes out and smashes the X.
Yeah.
And it's the Golden X. Come on. There's no doubt in my mind. It's personal. And I would love to be a fly on Stephanie's wall to see what she really has to think. Because how does she not support her husband?
Personally, I think Vince was getting nervous that NXT was going to become bigger than Raw or SmackDown.
It already was.
Mickey, just to jump back off your point, is I agree 100% because I think my thing with Vince is I think Vince, the competitive juice in Vince said, I didn't build it. Everybody in the internet, Hunter built it, and I can't have that.
Yep, I agree. And because it was getting to that point where NXT was becoming so well known and people were not really paying attention to Raw and SmackDown, Vince was getting a little nervous. And he would, like you said, the egotistical side of him took over, and he's like, you know what? I got to do something about this. And he's squashing it.
Yeah. It's sad that Vince also still, he's got the dick sucking crew of Kevin Dunn, Johnny,
dick
Johnny
sucking
Ace,
crew.
the dick sucking crew. That's what they are. The Johnny Ace, Kevin Dunn, and what's his face, fucking Bruce Pritchard, and they have Vince's ear, and the other guy that has Vince's ear is Nick Khan. Nick Khan is all his money guy, and Vince just, the way I look at it is if I'm telling you right now, don't be shocked if in 2022 the report comes across Triple H steps down as executive vice president of global talent and relations. Don't be shocked.
No, but I expect it already.
Yeah,
He's all right. He can lay back, settle on his cash, and he can come on our podcast and talk some wrestling.
I wouldn't be surprised if he starts his own company, to be honest with you.
He is a New Hampshire boy, so.
Ring of Helmsley. Can you imagine? But think about this. Could you imagine him actually? I would assume, and I've said this in the past, he definitively has a 1-year no-compete clause. Most big corporate people in the corporate world, if you're corporate, usually if you leave a corporation, you have a 1-year no-compete clause. I have no doubt in my mind that he will show up either in a company or start his own company that will start small and grow big. A company like Global Force Wrestling or Impact, Ring of Honor. I can just see it happen. He won't go to AEW because he'd only go there as a character. But I could see him starting his own company. Or I could see him jumping in and becoming an executive vice president of another company. Who wouldn't take him? Think about it. The guy, he knows how he built NXT to be that successful. If I was if I had millions and gazillions of dollars, first person I'm going to try to hire is him.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing here. The Royal Rumble 30 women, the Bellas in the Royal Rumble.
Are you kidding me?
But I am not kidding. I believe what I see, Mickey James, Summer Rae. They're bringing
James.
Yeah.
Fox.
Can't be. Mickey James?
Mickey James, Summer Rae. Yeah, they're bringing back a lot of these people. Mickey James
is under contract with fucking Impact, right?
Maybe not.
No, she is.
Her picture swung by.
Fuck, isn't she their champion?
I don't listen. All I seen was they advertised Mickey James.
That might be the commercial from last year.
No, I'm watching it right now in Charlotte Flair. It happened during Charlotte Flair's interview. It made all the people go by that were in it. Mickey James is one of them. Then Summer Rae, Lita. What?
Lita, yeah.
Yep.
Trish will be in it, I'm sure.
So
I turned it on and looking at Charlotte Flair's ugly face.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. And now here comes somebody. Probably Bailey.
No.
Feel the glow.
Bailey will be in the Rumble, no doubt.
Yeah, she's due to be back soon, actually.
Now, see, one of the biggest mistakes, I think, out of the latest rounds of, let's just say, the cuts, waves, wires on the waiver wire is I think the WWE will sorely miss one Steven Regal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But rumor has it he was burnt out and wanted to leave anyways.
I don't know. That could have been him saying that after. I mean, he's a smart enough guy to know the writing was on the wall and they were fucking ousting all of Hunter's people, and everyone knew how close he was to Hunter. Maybe you're right, Mike. He may have been saying that, but I'm wondering if it's would have hit an agenda.
Yeah. Well, it could be.
One has to kind of wonder if that's why Scotty 2 Hotty left too. I mean, he may have seen that writing on the wall and was like, you know what? Let me get out before I get fired.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's one lowercase person that, like a guy like myself, Mike know, and I believe Capelli knows, and I believe Pelly himself has even met. One George Carroll.
That
Mhm.
baffles me. They just hired him too, like recently. He's only been there a couple months.
Been there 6 months.
Yeah,
Scott Armstrong too. Been
Yeah.
there 15 years.
George uprooted. He moved his whole family down to Florida. And George is probably a Triple H guy. Not only probably, but I remember at Walter's funeral, in front of the church, George and Dave having a really good conversation with Trips in front of the church. So I wouldn't doubt that George had started a relationship with Triple H at Walter's funeral. So
I wouldn't put it past George to end up at AEW because he's friends with all them guys.
yeah,
He's friends with Fish and Cole and the Bucks and everything. That wouldn't surprise me one bit if he ends up doing some writing for AEW.
or it just goes back to where he was, which was MLW.
True. So yeah, but I wouldn't. That wouldn't shock me the least bit. And honestly, they'd be lucky. AEW would be stupid not to grab him to do some writing because he's very talented.
Yeah, that he is.
Speaking of AEW, who do you think this dream signing that Nick Khan is talking about is?
Oh, here we go.
Not Nick Khan, I'm sorry, Tony Khan. Keeps talking about a dream signing. Something tells me it's Ric Flair.
Yes, that's who I believe it is.
Me too.
If you were to tell me that his dream was to sign Bray Wyatt, he would be lying out of his teeth.
It's either Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan. I don't know.
I was going to say that Hulk Hogan. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if Hogan's under contract with WWE anymore, a Legends contract. When I last looked, I looked at the thing. I didn't see him under the Legend / what they call ambassador's contract. He wasn't listed on it.
Either that or it's Jeff Hardy.
That's
why not? And Jeff Hardy's been a staple of professional wrestling for a long time. We all know what my perceived what I think of him to this point, but it is what it is. People will soon forget that he faked.
faked being drunk. Yeah.
Yep, faked a relapse to get out of a contract, and we all see that Vince is pretty well. If you want to leave, he'll let you go. Did it with Tony Storm. Why wouldn't he have done it with Jeff Hardy?
Right.
So I put up. We all have said, had our opinions, so to speak, on would the WWE ever sell. And I put up a post the other day about when Freddie Prinze talking with a good friend of his who was a Fox executive and basically said that the WWE was close to selling to Fox, but the proper numbers could not be reached.
You got to read that again, though, because they were selling SmackDown to Fox, not the company. It was WWE SmackDown, and when they didn't come to that agreement on number, they leased SmackDown, similar to, like leasing Raw to the USA Network. They wanted to buy SmackDown. They wanted to sell them SmackDown. WWE would still own the company, but Fox would own stake into SmackDown. They would have control of everything that SmackDown did. You got to read that out.
Kind of like what they're doing now.
Well,
it's a lease.
It's still Vince selling part of the product off, which is, to me, it says things. If you're willing to sell part at some point, why wouldn't you be willing to sell all?
Because I think at the end of the day, Vince, it's too much. It's money. I think it's money. I don't think I think he'll continue to sell off portions, but he'll never not own the WWE. He will always own World Wrestling Entertainment, but I think he'll lease or sell off portions like he did with the WWE Network. He sold that to NBC on the Peacock Network, but he still owns it. They own the right. They bought the right to have the network per se.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's a smart man. Like, he's making money hand over fist. I gotta give him that.
So at the end of the day, if he was that dissatisfied, or I'm sorry, that nervous about NXT, why didn't he just sell NXT off?
What's to
That's
say
why
he doesn't sell NXT off to Triple H?
That ain't gonna happen. It already would have happened. That's why I go back to it's personal. That proves it's personal right there.
I mean, if he does sell off NXT, whoever buys it would be dumb not to grab Triple H to run it again. And if he went back to the way it was, he would definitely blow Raw and SmackDown out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, you guys are all sounding like Speak and Spell for some reason.
That's
what happened to me earlier.
That's because you're smoking some really good shit.
And you live in the boondocks.
And you smoking that fucking Chiba. Really
Chumbawamba.
All I can hear is... Can
you hear us now?
We can always do sign language.
I don't know. It's weird.
That's exactly how you guys sounded to me about a half hour ago.
Lay off the fucking mushrooms.
Shroom.
Yeah, I think it's the internet signal right now.
Well, it's because you're getting a fucking snowstorm. What do you expect?
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah.
For how long?
Oh, it was about 5 minutes.
So let me pose a question, prediction. I put up a post that said, and I'm predicting it, it's Brock versus Roman versus either AJ or Seth at Mania, because I think either AJ or Seth take the Rumble. What do you guys think? And if not, do you guys agree it will be a three-way? And if so, who will be the third person?
I've been saying it's going to be a three-way for a while, and I was told I was crazy by Mr. Pink Hat himself.
Mike, that's not nice. You wear pink hats?
No, he's not talking about me. He's talking about your boyfriend, Bozo the Clown.
Where is he? Where is Sticky Fingers?
He doesn't come out anymore because he hates that I abuse him. That's why.
Yeah, he's probably like not wanting to get into. He cries. I don't know if I can really talk about that tonight, fellas, because you're all right.
But I think it's going to be, and I'm going to maintain that what I've been saying. It is going to be a three-way. It's going to be Roman Reigns. It's going to be Lesnar, and it's going to be Lashley.
You think Lashley? Okay.
Yep.
I like Seth Rollins in the mix as the heel, but I think Brock Lesnar is a babyface. I like that with him and Heyman. So I like a singles match, Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins.
So you don't think it'll be? You think it's gonna be Brock and Seth?
Yeah.
Then who does Roman wrestle? But they're already setting it up. You can see it tonight if they open a SmackDown. They're setting it up for WrestleMania.
Yep.
They're setting up Roman Reigns and Brock. But the problem is how do you not continue the legacy of
the Royal Rumble match?
Rumble gets a shot, so it's gonna make it a triple threat. And the
True
only
enough.
person, as much as I can see AJ getting the push, the only person to me that makes sense to wrestle both Brock and what's his face is Seth, because it ties back into when Seth won the belt, when Roman versus Brock was going on, and here comes back and Seth is the one person who can say he's beaten both Brock and Roman. That's why I think it'll be Seth to try to tease it, and then Roman wins
When's
it.
when's Money in the Bank after Rumble?
Usually, yeah.
Who
Yeah,
had the
November.
idea? Who had the idea of unifying the belts? Was that Mickey?
I've
We've
been
all
saying
kind
that
of
too.
talked about
We've
it.
all kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Could we have a match between Roman and Brock unifying the belts, and then have the winner of the Rumble fight the winner of that match?
No, because that's main event that's WrestleMania main event caliber.
True enough. Yeah.
That kind of match. You don't put that match on Hell in the Cell, which I think February would be.
All right. So here I like. Wait a second
So-
here now. While Kelly's got that thought on my mind, that's probably the brightest thing he's said in a long time, to a certain extent. Because
Wow.
Poor
Leave the
bastard.
kid alone.
The guy's bedridden, and you're talking to him like that.
no, it's a really good statement he made. You have 2 nights of WrestleMania. Okay, what's to say the first night can't be Brock and Roman for the unification, and on the second night, the winner of the Rumble faces the winner of the unification match?
Yeah. So yeah.
Why
that's
can't it
good-
be
cool.
that? You're
Cool.
going to
Can't.
Dallas. Hey, hear me out. Let me finish. You're
You're
going to Dallas. You're looking to break attendance records. You want to break that 90 whatever thousand. He wants to get that 100,000 mark. Why can't it be done? We all know
That is
Brock
not-
probably doesn't want to work back-to-back nights. And
But Brock's not
Roman,
losing.
and why doesn't Roman go on the next night to face whomever wins the Royal Rumble? Whether
And
it's
that'll
an
be-
AJ Styles, whether it's a Seth Rollins.
I like
Uh,
the Seth Rollins gimmick because
why-
he got heat through
hey,
the Shield. You know what I
Hear,
mean?
hear this out. The best wrestler in the WWE right now is a guy that's basically locked in a tag team with Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Okay,
Agreed.
that
Agreed.
being
I agree.
that being Randy Orton. Why is nobody talking about Randy Orton carrying Monday Night Raw?
Because unfortunately, Vince already told him. Remember a couple after he lost the belt the last time when he was, and I said it when we first started this podcast. I said Randy Orton was single-handedly carrying the WWE when they lost the crowd, and the storytelling that he put out there was just he is the best overall wrestler performer in the WWE. I still think AJ is the best performer wrestler, quote unquote, but Randy has it all. I've always said it. I think he's the best. And even fucking
I think Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Seth Rollins would all be good as winners of the Royal Rumble.
Agreed. Agreed.
Here's another idea
100%.
for the. Here's another
Why-
idea for
hey,
WrestleMania.
Why not Matt Riddle if Brock Lesnar went over? Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People would love to see Brock Riddle.
Here's another idea, and Pelly said it, and then Capelli was talking about Seth Rollins, and the whole thing going back to that WrestleMania moment. Who's to say that it doesn't? The main event isn't Brock and Roman in a unification match, and Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank and goes out this time, beats Roman for the title instead of Brock Lesnar.
Why
Hold
can't
on, let me
that
see.
all happen on the second night after the first night of a unification? Because you're gonna no matter what, the Royal Rumble winner has to get a shot some way, some way, shape, and or form.
Money in the Bank isn't until July this year. So it ain't gonna
Okay.
be Money in the Bank. Yeah. I just looked it up. Here's
I'll be
the
right back
only
with you guys.
reason
Hold on
why
one minute.
I don't think they would do that. And hear me out. And obviously with what's going on is I think you're once again gonna get on night one, you're gonna get a women's main event for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
You're gonna get, and that's why we won't see Brock versus Roman night one, and then Roman versus whoever for the title again on night two, because
Yeah.
you're not going to shoot your load. Once you shoot that first load and you unify the title, the follow-up match doesn't have the same build-up.
But it's really not a follow-up match.
It is, though. It is, because it's WrestleMania. So it's really, you're trying to, it's like, you guys have gone out in the ring and, let's say it's kind of hard to go out and follow AJ Styles versus Stone Cold Steve Austin on an indie show. And then it's nothing against you guys, but then it's, Jason Rumble versus Mike, Apocalypse for the NWA New England heavyweight title. It's hard to follow that. The same kind of mentality in WWE. You don't put on Brock Roman for a unification title and then the following night say, oh, all right, now we're going to have Roman versus the guy who is, again. And so this way, if Roman...
So you're telling me the guy that wins the Royal Rumble and goes on to main event WrestleMania is not looked at as somebody that's worthy enough to potentially carry a company?
No. I say yes, but they have not built the guy right now. Seth will not carry the company the way he did prior. Not like Roman's doing it.
It's the way they're
AJ
booking him
won't
right now.
carry the company. AJ won't carry the company the same
I
way
seem
Roman
to think that no matter what guys you put, that if it was, I think that just myself, if it was booked right, told right, I believe no matter what, the second night, like if Randy Orton was the winner, people would be fucking melting and frothing at the mouth to want to see the winner of Brock and Roman face Randy Orton. I believe the same thing would hold truth for AJ. Maybe
Here's a
not as
question.
much Seth, but I believe people would clamor. If you told me that those were the two-night potential main events, I could dig that. Because I'm trying to sink my teeth into what women's main event is like, and this is just my thing. I don't think the WWE women's division right now is as hot as it's been in years past.
Yeah.
So let me give you a scenario, a hypothetical scenario for the night one women's main event, fatal 4-way. Titles on the line. One winner, unification of both world titles. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. Sasha Banks in Bayley. You put the four of them in the ring. You have the 4 horsewomen, the WWE 4 horsewomen. One title, one winner. You're telling me that's not a main event caliber? And I'm sorry, but if you, to me, if I see Brock versus Roman night one, and let's just say it was Randy Orton, it doesn't matter if it's Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Matt Riddle, Bobby Lashley, Big E, I don't give a fuck who it is. Everybody knows on night 2 that person's losing. So there's not enough pizzazz. There's not enough, to me, everyone already knows, they're going to lose. They're expected to lose. Versus...
I like the women's idea, but I said before a couple weeks ago that if you're doing a women's gimmick, you should throw Ronda Rousey in there.
She's having a baby.
She already had it.
There was talks about her coming back.
She's pregnant again?
As far as I know, she's pregnant.
She already had the kid.
Ronda Rousey. I thought she was pregnant again. I thought she was having so maybe you're right, Mike. You could be right. I thought she was recently pregnant.
I had read somewhere that don't be surprised if she showed up at the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant.
Yeah, she's already had
and won it.
Yeah, she goes over to WrestleMania. Yes.
And if you look at the for anybody who has SmackDown on their DVR, when that segment comes up that I told you about when they advertise the women's Royal Rumble match, there's 2 to 3 different women that it's just a black glow. So what's to say that Ronda Rousey isn't one of them black glows? You know what I mean?
Well, she's still
So
Well, one of them's definitely going to be Lacey Evans. She's already been posting.
Oh,
Yep.
good for her.
Yeah, Lacey's on her comeback. I'm sure another one's going to be. I mean, you can go right through the list. Alexa Bliss. I wonder if that's when she returns at the Rumble. You know, the official return of Alexa Bliss at the Rumble.
She'll be on Raw. She's going to be on Raw Monday.
Right, but I'm saying like first match. Is she on Raw Monday? Or
Yes.
Is she,
no, they're
just
advertising.
doing the road to her return on Monday.
Well,
And what is she gonna look like?
Word
I
has
don't
it
know.
she's still doing the scary game. Like she's gonna have that scary
Yep.
look to her. Who
Yep.
knows?
Why?
Who knows?
Why?
Because they're bringing the
God.
feedback.
Because they bring the Fiend back. That's right.
Shut up, both of you.
The Fiend's gonna show up at WrestleMania and win the title, and then it's gonna be a
There
triple
you
threat,
go.
and the Fiend's gonna be the third man in the triple threat at WrestleMania.
Oh,
You getting
if James Forbes is here right now, he'd
Capelli,
have
yeah,
the
you get your
jerkins and the
sources from-
tissues out.
yeah, you get your sources from
Fiend's
James
coming
Ford.
back at Royal Rumble. Fiend's
Yeah, I
coming back
got
at
my
Royal
source
Rumble,
from,
winning the Rumble.
From the Fingers dirt sheet.
My sources say that I'll have my Jergens and my Kleenex box out for when Bray Wyatt returns at Mania.
Hey, to piggyback off something you mentioned with Randy Orton, did you guys happen to see Ric Flair sent him a tweet? Pretty much called him the best. He said, he goes, "You're the best wrestler in the business today," or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
He is.
he is. I mean, he
I would
is.
agree.
Hands down. I mean, honestly, if there's one person I'd like to see get to 16 or 17 championships, it would be him at this point.
Well, it was supposed to be Cena that was going to break his record, but that all went down the tubes.
You know, I don't know if Vince will ever allow it. Now,
Yeah. Now, I
Who
mean,
knows?
it wasn't really up to him to begin with. It was Flair's the one who said he wanted it to be broken. So
yeah.
It's been a very interesting week, to say the least.
yeah,
Yeah.
it has.
So here's the question. You ready? When does Shawn Michaels get released? Or does he?
I don't think he's going to get released.
Wow.
No,
No.
that's if Vince McMahon has anybody in NXT that I think he can rely on, like Triple H is gone, at least I think he can rely on Shawn Michaels. I think that's the
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I
But
don't
I
think
don't
he's
think
Yeah,
going
it's
to get
Shawn
about.
released.
toes
I
the
don't think it's
company
about
line.
relying on him, though. I don't think it's going to be about relying on him. It's going to be about the fact that he is that close with Triple H.
Right.
And at the same point, though, I believe Sean has looked at just as if he's just as important to Vince McMahon as The Undertaker would be.
Yeah.
So I don't,
That's what would keep him there. Exactly.
I don't see Vince getting rid of Sean.
No.
Sean's the
Because Shawn
all-time
also-
great. Is one of the all-time greats. He never really, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Sean will toe the company line.
Yes, Sean's a
He'll
kiss
toe
ass.
the company line.
Sean's a kiss
Speaking of
ass.
Undertaker, I wonder what he thinks about all this stuff going on right now. Being that the person that he was in that locker room and everything.
You know, that's a good question. My opinion is I think he's so far removed from it. I think it's like he looks at it like it's not my locker room anymore. I don't think he cares enough.
Yeah,
That's how I would feel if I was him. But I mean, I could be wrong.
he could be like, why would I want to worry about myself? Worry about anything when I'm well taken care of already.
Oh, yeah. He signed like a 15-year contract, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. But it would be. I would like to know. I mean, like Mickey said, what's his opinion? Like, what does he feel?
This brings up a great thing, Capelli, and I brought this up earlier. Me and Mickey Biggs and on a private text and talked about this, and I know why it would never happen. Is because it's still protected to this point. But wouldn't it be awesome to have like an ESPN of professional wrestling where the topics that we're talking about right now could actually be could actually
I
be
don't- this is breaking
100% confirmed. Okay, breaking news.
news. Sorry to interrupt. The WWE, their actual site, and it just came up on Gorilla Position. Impact Knockouts World Champion at Mickey James will be in the Royal Rumble match. And it says Impact Knockouts World Champion.
And I believe that I broke that news.
No. But the fact I'm pointing out that the WWE is acknowledging that she's the Impact Knockouts World Champion.
That's
Okay.
he's working with TNA. That's why.
The door, that fourth wall,
Yeah.
is starting to come down because that's shocking that they acknowledge it. Okay, sorry, Jay.
Well, that's even more to the point where I put up earlier that Petey Williams has been working backstage with WWE.
Did they just sign him?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, full as a producer.
He's a producer.
Yeah. I just saw that.
Maybe all of these cuts and things of that nature is because could they be acquiring Impact Wrestling?
Impact no longer does anything with AEW, correct? Are they
Correct.
done with their agreement?
Yes, correct.
It's quite possible.
And maybe some of these guys who have been let go and, so to speak, the Performance Center are making room for like a guy named like Scott Demore and his crew.
It could be on
Maybe
some.
just
Matt
maybe,
Cardona.
and maybe just maybe some people knew what was going on or heard about what was going on, like Karen Cross, and that's why he said that he would never go work for Impact again.
Yeah, because didn't he just say that on the on What's Her Face's podcast too?
Yep, Renee
Yeah.
Paquette.
Him and his,
Yeah.
Yep, him and his wife both.
Very
Maybe they
interesting.
know. Maybe they can see the writing on the wall, and they're like, you know what? We're never going to go back there to work.
Impact Wrestling to work with, basically to work. It's to me that's just saying that they're looking to work with the WWE.
So that would mean there's access to the Iconics or whatever their new gimmick is,
Yep.
and yeah,
They would get
Some of
they would get AJ Styles' library of all his matches.
oh yeah, that's right. I could see Impact working more with NXT
Yes.
versus WWE. Yes,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right, Pelly. They would. They get all of AJ Styles' they'd have all his footage.
Very interesting. From what you guys had probably said, I think Rumbles had one too many rips off the bong when he saw Mickey James's face. He's fucking tripping. That had to have been from years ago.
No. We just.
I was thinking this. I actually was thinking that.
I know you were, Mike.
He's got to be
Yeah.
high.
You're like, that kid smoked too many puffs. He ain't maybe a possible winner of years ago.
I'm shocked that Mickey James is agreeing to come back after what happened. The way they shit canned her with the trash bag gimmick.
Yeah, but they made up for that though. Like
I'm
that
sure,
wasn't.
yeah, I mean, I know Vince personally apologized to what.
Yeah,
he
that
fired
wasn't-
the guy that did it.
That wasn't Vince doing. That was a moron. That was lower end.
So if this is the case, is there a chance that we see in the Royal Rumble in a wrestler from Impact?
Why not?
Why would maybe die? I mean, can you imagine seeing Shitty on the fucking WWE Royal Rumble?
Yeah. I think it would more be like a guy like, I'm going to say it, Moose.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Big Cass comes back.
Yep.
Could see that. What's his face is there too, though. I mean, Heath Slater, not that he's huge, but where he's got history there, you know he'd get a pop.
Yep.
Cardona, he get a pop too.
Yep.
He'd get the hugest pop, I think, at all. I mean, I think what he's done for himself now is ridiculous. So,
Well, I believe that
So-
Impact has a pay-per-view tomorrow night, so I think I'll be tuning in.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to start mentioning like to Mickey. Like, how do you not say Mickey James? You're gonna be in the WWE Royal Rumble. Why wouldn't she be going? Yeah, and I'm gonna go take their belt, and I'm gonna take the WWE belt, and I'm gonna be a champion of 2 different companies.
Imagine that.
Well, how about this? How about this? Here's a scenario for you. You ready? She wins the Royal Rumble. Now what do?
That would be awesome.
If she wins the Royal Rumble, right? Hear me out. If she wins the Royal Rumble, then you know damn well that Impact and WWE are in bed together and something big.
Absolutely, Mike.
They're up to something
100%.
big.
Does that mean that AJ Styles reunites with
Exactly, because the Bullet Club is in TNA right now.
With Finn. Oh yeah. Wait. What if AJ Styles shows up on there and takes their fucking world championship? Think of that.
Wow.
that forbidden door just got opened.
And the Good Brothers come back.
The whole Bullet Club is in TNA right now.
Yes,
but you got to put Finn Balor with it too.
Holy Jesus! Just with the Mickey James talk alone, imagine the 5 of us are talking about this. How much of a buzz will be going by tomorrow about the potentiality of what this is the uproar of what this is potentially going to do to the world of professional wrestling.
And Vince is going, try this on AEW.
The fact that Mickey James is in the Rumble is
huge as it is.
They're already working together.
Yep.
Because she wouldn't be in the Rumble if they weren't working together.
And they wouldn't have put her over as a TNA Women's Champion either.
But hold on a second. Is Mickey James already in the WWE Hall of Fame?
No,
she's not a Hall of Famer.
Okay, so what if they're putting her in the Hall of Fame and this just happens to be one of the things that they're doing?
No, I don't see that.
No, okay. She's active. She's still an active worker.
She's still active. They're not putting her in.
Okay, I'm just giving a different scenario.
I see where you're going at. Like they're gonna put her in, so they put her in the Rumble, and
it really doesn't matter. If she's working for another, so to speak, promotion. You know, they just want to highlight her.
No.
Now, here's the thing, Vince. I mean, this is the idea. Then WWE is now going to make people want to watch TNA.
Yep.
I'm going to want to watch to see if somebody shows up.
Yeah, Thursday nights just became that much more interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
probably Thursday nights might get another accessible TV channel. Better than Access.
I go back, and I go back to that question I posed earlier. Now more I think about it, I think Tony Khan is signing Hogan. That something tells me it's Hogan. The more I think about it, won't be Flair.
What the hell's Hogan going to do for AEW? Nothing.
It's sell merchandise. That's it.
But yeah, exactly, merchandise. And the credibility of being able to pull Hulk Hogan out on your television product.
Right. But holy shit. The hopefully this leads to something bigger and better. Hey, think of this. What if Hunter Hearst Helmsley runs Impact? What if they bring Hunter over there and they make a deal and Hunter has ties and helps build the bridge? And what if Hunter's the guy that's the go-between between WWE and Impact?
No, wait a minute. What if that's why they're revamping NXT, because they're going to put NXT and Impact into bed together?
Well, that's a good scenario too.
You know what I think's bigger and better?
Your bed.
No, The Fisherman's Game, available on Amazon Books.
The Fisherman's Game. Yeah. Have you done the voice
for
the Rumble because he can't read?
I haven't had a chance to work on it yet. My studio's.
What in the God's name is he wearing? Did you see his pants?
No, I didn't see. I'm afraid.
When he sits, holy crap! James Forbes Jr. What in God's name are you wearing?
Well, you got a copy. Did you get your box, Rumble?
That I did, buddy.
Oh, right on. Cool.
I
Rumble,
figured
stand
I'd
up.
surprise you.
Jay, stand
You
up.
realize it's not a pop-up book, right?
What? No. What pants are you wearing?
I love the shirt.
They are
Looks like cow pants.
no,
Okay, Forbesy. Okay,
Give it
Forbes
time, I'm
Jr.
going, right?
they are what do you call it? That movie there, Space Jam 2.
Oh my God, what a mark!
How fucking dare you? You wait now. Put the book down for a second. You're wearing
Get him!
fucking
Get
LeBron James Space Jam 2 fucking pajama bottoms. Get the fuck off this channel. You're out. You're done. You're no longer a part of this. Fucking LeBron James. Fucking Space Jam 2. What is wrong with you?
Hey,
Oh,
I didn't buy him.
Whatever, whatever, Forbesy.
I want Forbes
Pink
on
Cat
here.
Jr.
Yeah, get Forbes on
You
here.
can buy the fish can
Ooh.
on eBay for $9.95 or $15.95 hardcover. They're a support my book.
Leave him alone. What a
The
clown!
poor
You're being like,
bastard's bedridden again, and you you're jobbing him out.
Yep. I had put the road to WrestleMania will be interesting. And
Yeah,
it
it will
seems
be.
to me as if I'm pretty spot on about that this road to WrestleMania is going to be interesting.
I just got a whole hell
Say
of a
the
lot
least.
with that Mickey James thing.
Yes, because where else does it go from here? Do
If
wrestling?
they're doing it with the women's, they got to do it with the men's. They have
You
to put
cannot
it
tell me that Mickey James ain't going to show up now on either Raw or SmackDown in the upcoming week or two.
With
She could.
with the TNA belt too, which is even
Yeah,
better.
with the title. Yep.
Absolutely.
Extremely interesting, to say the
What if
least.
the Good Brothers showed up on Raw one night, came out of the crowd, and beat on Omos? Think of
Oh,
it.
that
They
would be
wrestled
so
Omos.
good.
AJ's
Or
wrestling
what if
Omos,
Big
all of a
Cass
sudden-
shows up and beats on Omos?
Well, no. Nash, he'd blow out his knee before he made it to the ring.
Such an
No,
ass.
not Nash. Big Cass.
Oh, Big Cass. I think he said Omos. I mean, I think he
Well,
said Nash.
He's now known as something W, or I like he's got,
Whirly. Yeah, Whirly or something like
it's
that.
a
Morrissey.
stu-
Yeah.
Morrissey. Yeah, Morrissey.
W Morrissey. Like, what a fucking dumb name.
He looks good though.
Oh, he does.
He does, but it would be bigger if AJ's wrestling Omos and all of a sudden here come fucking Anderson and fucking Gallows and they jump him and AJ's looking around and they do the fucking thing
Oh, yeah.
and AJ leaves with them through the crowd. That would be awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Shows up the next time on the TNA with him.
Then shows up on
I just want to see Tonga come out, Haku come out and beat the crap out of somebody with a bullet shirt on.
Hey, is this speaking of them? Is there still heat with them and Roman? With
I don't think so.
remember Roman had heat with not Haku, but what's his face?
Toma?
Haku Sit, his kid there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I remember one time they had heat. I was just wondering if that heat's still active.
I honestly believe that heat was just driven towards the fact of trying to draw up some social
Internet.
media buzz
Yeah.
to see if Vince would sign the kid.
I can see that.
You know?
Well,
I mean, aren't they technically family?
Yes. Basically, they all are.
Yeah.
Tied in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Guys ready for the Fiend to come back in the Royal Rumble?
no, because we don't need to see James Forbes on here doing a porno. Thank you very much.
Do you think Nia Jax shows up at the
Nope.
Rumble?
Nope. She's
No way.
done.
Yep.
She is done.
I just think that, like I said, I'll go on saying it. It is a very, very interesting road to WrestleMania, to say the least.
Oh yeah,
I do.
absolutely.
Would it be the best opportune time for Wade Bryant to come back at the Royal Rumble? Yes.
Oh yeah, but
The lights go out and then lights come back on. And he's in the middle of the ring. That would be cool.
and
I
he
want
goes
to see him
on to
come back as
headline
Bray Wyatt,
WrestleMania.
not as the Fiend. I want to see him come back as Bray Wyatt, Eater of Worlds. If I saw him come back,
Yes, agreed.
Well, he could do the Bray Wyatt gimmick, but under his name he's using now, Wyndham Rotunda. I think that would be great.
I think it doesn't come off the tongue right on a microphone. Wyndham Rotunda. I think it sounds so fucking dumb. I think it sounds so dumb. Hailing from Wyndham Rotunda. Okay. Wyndham Rotunda. Yeah,
that's
he's
like listen, Braun Breaker.
listen.
Hey, I'm an electrician. All I think of is circuit breaker, and I just want to go and shut it off.
Yeah, I hate the name Braun Breaker.
Fucking Braun Breaker. And he's good, but I'm sorry. Fucking give me more Tommaso as champ, but not fucking him.
Agreed.
I got a feeling Tommaso's going to be retiring.
I can see it with his health, with his neck issues and everything.
Yeah,
I know he's healthy, but between the neck and the leg. But why wouldn't he want one good legit run on the main roster?
It's not because of his injuries. He's already said more than once that he doesn't want to have that travel schedule. Plus, he's got a little kid.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's funny. I ran into his ex-girlfriend about fucking 3 months ago. The girl he was dating for a while. I knew her. And I just ran into her. And I asked her, I go, when's the last time you talked to Tommaso? And she said, oh, it's been a long time. I'm like, do you ever see him on TV? She goes, once in a blue moon. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I felt like saying, you fucked that one up.
You think?
Well, I think we're about at the end here. We got into talking about a lot. Tomorrow night, I'd like to go on. I'd like to talk about the debut show for AEW, and let's go over some more potentialities for WrestleMania. So anybody who wants to join me around 8:00 tomorrow, we're gonna go on. We'll talk some more.
All right, that's
Who
cool.
knows? Maybe some more stuff will drop, and we'll have some more things to talk about. But
right on.
Maybe MJF shows up. That would be fucking awesome. Can you imagine that one?
Well, tomorrow is the preview.
That's what I want to get to about the AEW part is let's get into the whole fact of, because wrestling is so known, could insulting the intelligence of the fans by assuming fans don't know who a character is or does, is it legitimate now to notice that? Or are you trying to feed something off of noticing that? And what I'd like to get into on that tomorrow night is the recognition that MJF did last night in the promo with CM Punk. So I'd like everybody to think about that, where he came out to recognize and tell Punk that he's never main evented a WrestleMania.
Yep.
And that he would before him. Then I'd like to get the opinion on the Jade Cargill match. I watched Dynamite today. Mike, I disagree with that. I thought her and Ruby Soho, I thought it was a decent match.
Soho carried that broad. Don't even go
Oh,
there.
yeah, Mike, I'm not going to say that, but that's a discussion we'll get into tomorrow.
I'll get my barf bag ready.
I didn't think it was a bad match. I thought Soho did a great job with making her look like $1 million. Other people going to make her look that way? That's the question.
The wrong person won that match. Sorry.
Oh, listen, Mike, understand this. We all know the wrong person won it, but we'll get into detail tomorrow night that for business sense wise, the right person won it.
Yep.
It was for business. What is the one thing that AEW hasn't had? And that's the dominant, self-created women's champion. Yes, Dr. Britt Baker is a pillar, but Jade Cargill is she's the closest thing to China.
As I was thinking, yeah.
That we've had in professional wrestling in a long time.
Yep.
But way less talented.
Nah.
I agree. I agree with
sorry.
Mike. She's not as talented as China.
Nope.
Well, let's just see where this goes down the road.
All right.
So you're going to tell me you don't think Bianca Belair is as talented as China or more athletic?
That's what apples and oranges. No, hear me out. Wait. First of all, Bianca Belair is a natural athlete. Cargill is not.
You don't think Jade Cargill's a natural athlete?
No.
She was a Division I women's basketball player.
Doesn't listen.
She could have played WNBA basketball, but pursued a bodybuilding career. How is that? Like, you can't say a person who plays D1 sports is not an athlete, Mike.
That girl could not lace China's boots on her best day.
She's only been in the business for about a year. Let's see down the road. Down the road.
And here comes the inner Forbesy out in Jay.
No, it's not the inner Forbesy. It's called being a realist and looking at the potentiality down the road. They did the same thing with
set?
What?
Do you have a drum set that you play like Forbesy?
He's probably watching this going, fucking assholes picking on me. I'm not even on here.
But we can we'll get into more of that tomorrow night. I understand why they're doing what they're doing with Jade Cargill. Do I agree that she should be the TBS champion? No. But I see the direction that they're trying to go with what they're doing with her.
My personal opinion is they took a shot at Swole.
Or it's just part of this girl's contract because she was in a bidding war with She was in a bidding war with NXT. And the only reason why this AEW got her is because AEW is willing to put her on the main product right away. And for her to go to NXT, from what I was told, she wouldn't see main roster time for about 2 years.
Because she needed to be trained.
Yep. But so tomorrow night we'll get into some of that, much, much more. And who knows, by tomorrow night we could know more about this proverbial door opening of Impact and the WWE.
And tomorrow's also the debut of NWA USA on YouTube.
Oh man, I'm chomping
Nobody.
at the bit.
Hey, listen, I'm checking the radar for somebody who cares. Not a blip on the screen.
Nobody cares about that. The best was when I put that thing up and people actually thought, like, I love Dave Fournier to death, and he really thought that the NWA was going to be on the USA Network.
And I fueled that fire, too.
Yeah, you did, you asshole.
I like these fucking people, man. It's a YouTube show, for crying out loud. Yeah, the NWA is nothing, man. When I told you, I watched that pay-per-view that they had Hard Times, and that TV studio was 1/3 of the way full. It was pathetic.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw something from the NWA. It's pathetic.
Yeah, this shit
So,
sucks
so you
now.
say that our TV studio had more?
I
audience
said
numbers
that
than
not only that, but I commented that the last wrestling school that I owned and operated, and now Bo Douglas is in possession of it, I said I drew more fans at my overrated storage unit. And I did.
You did.
We did. I think we drew
That's
more
sad.
fans. We drew more fans in Sanford, fucking Maine that weekend at the fucking place we did that the sub shop fucking put up than they did.
Oh,
That was,
yeah.
what, 30 fucking people. Jay, I'll get one better for you. We had more fans than we did at the TV studio in Melrose.
Oh, yes. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And we had
I
the
missed
fans
that
we
place,
had were
actually.
10.
Those were the good old
I
days.
did. You know,
Yeah, they were.
one of the fans is my kid. So, no, wait. I didn't have a kid then.
I didn't
What am I
have
talking
a
missed
kid
those
then.
days.
All right, fellas. So tomorrow night, either 8 or 8:30, I'll post it online. It's been great talking wrestling with you tonight. So tomorrow night we'll concentrate on some of the AEW stuff. Let's talk a little AEW from Wednesday night in their debut show. What was thought about the rematch of one Hangman Adam Page and Daniel Bryan. We'll talk about how Big Swole has been pushed to the top. And the now mentioning of professional other wrestling organizations and what they've done. Is it right to now notice it? Because, so to speak, if you don't notice it, are you really are you insulting? Are you insulting the wrestling fans' intelligence like that? And much more tomorrow night to be talked about here on night 2 of some Inside the Gorilla position. So, would you guys like to have anything to part with?
Capelli, you're a soccer fan, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Here we go.
Then pick up the Fisherman's Game for
How much again?
I think American it's like $12.50.
How much for the hardcover?
$24.
Jay, can you show us the book, please?
Leave him alone.
There it is.
All you gotta do is sound like a Fraggle crossed with the Muppet.
A Fraggle.
God damn.
So what you got? So then what you got is a snorkel.
Yeah. Do you like soccer?
Oh my God.
Fucking brutal. You are fucking brutal.
He knows I love him. If I didn't bust your ball, if I didn't bust his balls, he would think that I wasn't being me.
He wants to kick you in the balls right now.
Oh yeah, he can't wait to give me a stiff shot. There you go.
So,
The
listen, my
Fisherman's
parting
Game.
words are this. Jimmy Fingers, acknowledge me.
Please. Acknowledge that you got a big giant fucking head. I got some nails that are loose. Come over and headbutt them for me.
Oh my fucking God.
Go dye your beard again, fuckface.
Don't hate the player, hate the
I
game.
know.
Don't be jealous because I'm older than you and I look better.
Oh Jesus.
Listen, I wake up and piss excellence, my friend.
Okay.
So,
Oh man. Fucking Capelli.
All right, everyone in Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. For everybody.
I'm going to
who's
take a
watching.
Jake Hardhill in a few minutes.
With that being said, we'll catch you all tomorrow night. And have a great one, everyone.